The most comfortable motorcycle on this list weighs 847 pounds, and that is exactly why most older riders get it wrong. They find a low seat, both feet flat on the ground, and they think, this is the one. Then they get it home. And 847 pounds does not care how comfortable the seat is. Comfort on the highway and comfort in your driveway are two completely different problems. The Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic has a 26.3 inches laden seat height. It is the lowest on this entire list. It weighs 719 pounds, running order. The Gold Wing sits at 29.3 inches and weighs 847 pounds. Neither number tells you what happens when you misjudge a curb at 2 miles per hour and the bike starts going over. That gap between what the spec sheet promises and what happens at low speed is where senior riders get hurt. Here's exactly what to look for and why. If money is not the conversation, this is the most capable long-distance senior touring motorcycle you can buy. Full stop. The wind protection is serious. The ergonomics are designed around hours, not minutes. The fuel tank holds 6.3 gallons. Shaft drive means no chain to clean or adjust. BMW R1300 RT models have been the long-haul choice for experienced touring riders for decades. But here's where it gets complicated. Seat height runs 32.2 to 33 inches depending on configuration. Wet weight is 620 pounds, and that is not the number that matters when the bike is full of fuel and you are holding it on a hill at a red light. There is also an active NHTSA recall on certain 2026 R 1300 RT motorcycles. Recall number 25V672. The issue is an incorrectly manufactured cardan shaft that can cause loss of drive power at the rear wheel. The remedy is full cardan shaft replacement. That does not mean every 2026 R1300 RT is dangerous. It means every 2026 buyer needs to run the VIN through the NHTSA database before they ride it off the lot. A drivetrain recall on a 620-pound motorcycle is not something you discover later. The R1300 RT belongs on this list because it solves the highway problem better than almost anything here. It does not belong higher because of the weight, the price, and a recall that should not be ignored. This one is for a specific kind of older rider, someone who wants character, something that feels like a motorcycle instead of a living room sofa on two wheels, someone who does not want to spend Gold Wing money. The V7 Stone sits at around 30.7 inches of seat height and about 481 pounds wet. The riding position is relaxed and upright, not cruiser forward, not sport aggressive. And it uses shaft drive. No chain means no chain cleaning, no lubrication schedule, no adjustment. If bending down and working at ground level is getting harder, removing that maintenance chore entirely is a real benefit. Anti-lock brakes, traction control, and cruise control are standard depending on trim. Here's the caveat. Moto Guzzi dealer support is thin. In major metros, you will find coverage. In a lot of the country, you will not. For an older rider who does not want to trailer a bike 3 hours for routine service, geography matters as much as specs. The V7 Stone earns its spot because the riding experience is genuinely pleasant, and shaft drive is genuinely useful. It loses ground because hoping there is a dealer nearby is not a maintenance plan. The T100 is the most honest motorcycle on this list. It does not pretend to be a tourer. It is a standard. Feet under you, hands at a natural height, spine upright. For older riders who have spent years on bikes that force them into one extreme or another, that neutrality is genuinely useful. Seat height is 30.8 inches. Wet weight is around 502 pounds. Manufacturer's suggested retail price is approximately $11,495. The limits are real. 500 pounds is not light. And there is almost no wind protection. On a 20-minute ride, that does not matter. On a 2-hour highway run, wind blast loads your neck, shoulders, and lower back in ways a naked bike simply cannot fix. If most of your riding is local roads and weekend mornings, the T100 makes sense. If distance is the goal, you will feel the absence of that fairing before the first tank is empty. 3 bikes in, and we have not talked about the thing that matters more than seat height, more than weight, more than price. Wind protection. Most riders do not notice wind fatigue on a short ride, but after 90 minutes at highway speed, wind blast is loading your neck, compressing your shoulders, and pulling your arms forward. That physical drain adds up over a long day faster than almost anything else. It is one of the reasons older riders cut rides short without quite knowing why. The Tiger Sport 660 is the best upright middleweight on this list for taller seniors who want real wind management without moving to a 700-pound touring bike. Riding position is natural and upright. Wet weight is around 465 pounds. Service interval runs 10,000 miles or 12 months. The seat height is 32.9 inches. That eliminates a real number of shorter riders outright. A low seat accessory exists, but that is an add-on, not standard. If you cannot get comfortable at a stop in a dealership, nothing else on the spec sheet fixes that. For taller seniors, confident at slow speed, the Tiger Sport 660 is one of the better value propositions on this list, but it is a relatively newer platform in its 2026 form. Calling it long-term proven would be getting ahead of the evidence. The Heritage Classic has the lowest seat height on this list, 26.3 inches when laden. For a lot of older riders, especially shorter riders and anyone who has ever had that moment of panic at a slow stop, that number matters. Both feet firmly on the ground every single time. It also comes with a windshield, saddlebags, and relaxed low RPM torque that makes highway cruising genuinely easy. Starting manufacturer's suggested retail price is $19,999. Running order weight is 719 pounds. Now here's what you need to know before any of that matters. Certain 2025 and 2026 Heritage Classic models, specifically the FLHC, are covered under NHTSA Recall 26V234. The issue is rear brake line contact with the body control module, which can lead to brake fluid loss and reduced rear braking performance. This is a documented federal recall. Every 2025 and 2026 Heritage Classic buyer needs to run the VIN through the NHTSA database before accepting delivery. Not after, before. The Heritage Classic belongs on this list because for the right rider on the right roads, it genuinely delivers. But the recall is real, the weight is real, and neither disappears because the seat height looks good on paper. If this is the kind of thing you want to know before it costs you, subscribe. I cover this every week, and I do not hold back. The V-Strom 650 is the most boring motorcycle recommendation I can make. I mean that as a compliment. It does not have the lowest seat, shaft drive, or an automatic transmission. What it has is a reputation built over years and hundreds of thousands of owners for being a durable, practical, low-drama machine that rewards sensible maintenance and punishes almost nothing else. Seat height is 32.9 inches. Curb weight is 470 pounds. Fuel capacity is 5.3 gallons. The riding position is upright, feet under the rider, hands at a natural height. That ergonomic triangle, upright spine, natural wrist angle, feet planted under you rather than pushed forward is exactly what reduces the physical cost of a long ride. The V-Strom does not care about being interesting, it cares about getting you home. The caveat is seat height. At 32.9 inches, shorter riders need to sit on one before committing. If the height works for you, there are very few better arguments for the money on this entire list. If it does not, no amount of reliability reputation fixes that moment at a stop. These last 3 bikes are the ones I would actually recommend putting money down on. Here is why. The Vulcan S solves a problem most of this list ignores. F it. Most motorcycles come in one size. You adapt to them. The Vulcan S is built around a system Kawasaki calls ErgoFit, which adjusts handlebar position, foot peg position, and seat configuration. For older riders with specific physical constraints, such as a bad shoulder, a stiff hip, or a back that only tolerates certain positions, that adjustability is not a marketing feature. It is a functional one. Seat height is 27.8 inches. ABS curb weight is 498.3 pounds. The manufacturer's suggested retail price for the ABS model is $8,149. The limits are honest. Close to 500 pounds is not light. And a low seat does not automatically mean no back pain. It means your feet reach the ground confidently at a stop. That is a real benefit, but only if you actually use the ErgoFit system to dial the bike in for your body. A poorly fitted Vulcan S will punish you just as efficiently as anything else on this list. At $8,149, it is the most affordable bike in the top half of this list. For an older rider who wants low seat confidence and adjustable fit without a big touring platform, it is hard to beat. The Rebel 1100T DCT combines two things that rarely appear together: a genuinely low seat and no clutch lever. Seat height is 27.9 inches, almost identical to the Vulcan S. But the Rebel 1100T DCT also removes the clutch entirely through Honda's dual-clutch transmission. No clutch fatigue means stop-and-go traffic, hill starts, and slow parking lot maneuvers do not wear out your left hand before the ride is done. For riders dealing with arthritis, hand fatigue, or grip strength issues, DCT is not a luxury. It is a functional solution to a real problem. Curb weight is 549 pounds. The T-trim adds touring-oriented equipment. Fuel capacity is 3.6 gallons. That is worth knowing before a long trip. The honest caveat: cruiser seating with the feet forward position can send road shock into the lower back on rough pavement. The low seat builds confidence at stops. The feet forward position can undo some of that comfort over distance. The Rebel 1100T DCT is the right pick when clutch fatigue is the primary problem. If long-distance comfort matters equally, pay close attention to what is coming next. DCT helps the hand. It does not make 549 pounds disappear. 847 pounds. Let's talk about why that number is both the problem and the answer. The Gold Wing Tour DCT is the most complete senior touring motorcycle you can buy in 2026. A list of solved problems. Clutch fatigue, gone. Wind fatigue, largely gone. The full fairing is genuine wind management. After 2 hours at highway speed, your neck, shoulders, and wrists are in a fundamentally different condition than on anything else on this list. Long-distance vibration is handled by the flat 6 engine, which is inherently smooth. It does not shake at cruise speed. Seat height is 29.3 inches, low enough that most riders can get solid footing. And the Gold Wing has powered reverse. For a motorcycle that weighs 847 pounds, that is not a novelty feature. That is the feature that prevents the parking lot moment from becoming the end of the ride. Gold Wings are well documented as high-mileage, long-distance machines when properly maintained. These are not bikes that fall apart. They are bikes that reward care. Now here's the part that matters most. Every advantage the Gold Wing offers is real. And none of it matters if the rider does not have the experience and physical strength to manage 847 pounds at walking speed. At 2 miles per hour on a slight slope, at a gas station that is not quite level, this motorcycle will go where physics says it is going. DCT does not change that. Reverse does not change that. The Gold Wing Tour. DCT is the right motorcycle for experienced riders who can still handle a large, heavy machine confidently. It is the wrong motorcycle for a rider already struggling with weight management on something smaller who thinks upgrading to something more comfortable will fix the problem. It will not. It will make the highway better and the driveway worse. That is the tension at the center of this entire list. The right motorcycle for an older rider is not the one with the lowest seat. It is not the lightest or the most loaded with features. It is the one that stops punishing your body before the ride is over and still lets you get it off the kickstand without calling for help. Those two things are harder to find together than any spec sheet will ever tell you. Every bike on this list gets at least one of them right. The best ones get close to both. And the only way to know which one fits your body, your roads, and your current skill level is to sit on it, ride it, and be honest with yourself about what you felt. Most riders will skip that part. You just watched 9 bikes worth of reasons not to. If this saved you one bad decision, subscribe. That's literally why this channel exists. New breakdown every week.